Hello, this is Mary and Nasi with IMT Realty. I am with Mike Mish today from RMS Mortgage, and we just do a quick video on where the mortgage industry is and the real estate industry in regard to what's going on currently with the coronavirus and the impact it's having on our business and the timing of transactions. I know people are worried across the board about the whole economy, and I thought we just take a few minutes and have Mike explain how what's going on is impacting our industry.
Absolutely. So what you're seeing right now with the coronavirus and how it's affecting the mortgage industry is it actually started a couple weeks ago, and there's a lot of supply for refinances with rates being down, and also with rates being down for purchases. What this is doing is it's creating a oversupply and a shortage of liquidity on the secondary market. So last week, lenders, banks, even the federal government raised the rates to try to stem off the flow of refinance money.
What does that mean? So does that mean that they wanted to slow down the number of people refinancing?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of lenders, banks, credit unions, in the span of 24 to 48 hours, raised their rates, a 0.5% to 1%. Rates were low. Everybody started refinancing, so they said, all right, we're going to raise our rates at 0.25%, then 0.5%. Some of the national bigger banks raised their rates, 1%, hoping that they would, shut down the refi business.
So that wasn't really driven by anything going on with the current situation, but more with the volume and
Right.
being able to handle all that volume.
Right.
Okay.
It originally started with, the rest of the world, obviously with, the United States being kind of the safest bet. As the coronavirus started to spread around the world, all of that money started to pour into the U.S. For treasuries, and it's a safety trade. So they were pulling money out of stocks, putting it into treasuries, and it was a safe bet. What happened there was investors pushed the yield on the treasury down so low that it became unattractive even as a safety precaution. So then investors started moving their money into mortgage-backed securities, which is where mortgage rates are derived from. That's when that rate push went, where 30-year fix went down to close to 3%. And then from there, the volume just kind of, exploded. So at that point, that's when the coronavirus kind of started to get into the United States. And between that, with all the shutdowns and the volume that we're dealing with, that's where people that are buying homes are going to possibly start to see slowdowns, turn times for government agencies, depending if any government agencies were to close, could take longer for USDA loans.
So if somebody is currently, if they put a property under contract 3 weeks ago and they were hoping to close in the next 2 weeks, is that time frame still obtainable, or?
Yeah, as of right now, it is obtainable. Most lenders like us that are heavily purchase driven, we do refis, but it's not our main focus. There's companies out there that are more focused on purchases, and there's a lot of companies that are focused just on refinances. On the purchase side, it is staying in the normal timeline because of technology. We can work from home, processors, underwriters, all those things. So we're working through that as an industry. But depending on where this goes for the United States over the next week to 2 weeks, if there's government shutdowns, if there's, there's laws that come out, or the government comes out and says, you can't gather, you can't go to work, you can't do all this stuff. Towns start to close. That's the big issue.
Okay.
Is if
town halls closed.
Town halls closed for some reason, and you can't record a new mortgage, you can't refinance, you can't purchase, the attorneys can't get it, and it's a domino effect from there. So that is, I wouldn't say the worry, but that's where it could potentially go, and that's where you could see the slowdown.
So what if somebody's doing a government loan, like with CHFA, USDA, etc.? Have they already felt a slowdown, or is it still on track to close on time?
Yeah, the only, and again, it depends on your lender, because if lenders are doing CHFA loans, if they're not authorized to underwrite those in-house, and they have to send them directly to CHFA, if they're doing like a down payment assistance part of it,
Right.
that could affect it. And then also USDA, if there's any slowdowns, like they're currently, the turn times that I've seen have gone from, 24 to 48 hours to, they're saying it could be as much as, 10 to 14 days. I haven't seen that as of yet. It's a precautionary kind of measure, but
it's a big difference.
Absolutely, it's a big difference. And really, what I've told my customers, my referral partners, and things like that is, you just have to, you have to really trust the people that you're working with. And my job right now, as a mortgage advisor, is to stay up to date and let realtors and other people that I'm working with know this is where we're going on a day-by-day basis, updating them. Because right now, we're in uncharted territory. So the only thing you can really do is stay abreast of it, keep the information, flowing to your borrowers and to your referral partners, and kind of go from there.
Is there anything else any information you want to pass on?
I mean, the only thing that I see in times like this is it's even more important, for a purchase or a refinance, to really work with trusted people and local.
Yeah.
If you're talking that you're trying to get your mortgage online with one of those companies, and you're working with a call center, you might not be able to get a hold of somebody.
Right.
So the appeal that they offer you 0.1% interest rate lower than what a local bank or credit union or lender like myself might offer, these are things that people have to weigh out when they're deciding who they want to work with.
Yeah. All right. So I guess the big thing is we just keep watching the news, and if they do start shutting or making it mandatory shutdowns, that will affect the timing. If they were to go there, it's just, worst case scenario, if they did shut down town halls for a couple of weeks, how do we probably have no idea what the effect would be time-wise?
Yeah, it's gonna be a snowball effect, a domino effect.
Do people lose their rate locks?
That could be an issue. Generally, in times like this, it's on the customer to get their documents in, to close and things like that. Again, because we're in uncharted waters where we've never been in a situation like this, the government is obviously helping as much as they can. They lowered the federal funds rate, down to 0 to 0.25%, which isn't tied directly to the 30-year fixed mortgage, but it helps banks with the liquidity issue.
Okay.
And, by allowing that, then they can, kind of work out of, those rate locks. They can push them out. But there is chances that rate locks could, take longer. They might have to be extended. There's really no definitive answers right now. It's kind of on a case-by-case and a day-by-day basis moving forward to see where this takes us in the real estate market.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate you coming in. I hope that answers some questions. I know it probably leaves a lot unanswered, but it is fluid. So if things change, we'll have Mike back to explain where we stand at that point. But stay safe, be well, and thank you.
Thank you.